And welcome into NHL Tonight. First shift for Wednesday, November the 19th, 2025. EJ Hradek here and back by popular demand for a second consecutive day, Michael Del Zotto. Good to see you again.
Second of the home and home. That's
nice. Right.
This is a first for me.
That's right. You're wearing the road black today.
Yeah.
I'm wearing the blue. So we'll see how it all works out. But we had a good night last night. We had a lot of things going on, so that was fun. And now we got a 4-game schedule tonight. So we'll keep everybody tuned in to what's been going on. You know, there's a lot happening. We got JD back behind the wheel there, JD Lindbergh. What do we got today, JD? Help us out.
Good to be back with you, Eej.
Yeah.
Del Zotto, good to have you back on first shift. A little line chemistry developing between you guys.
I like it. Hey, listen, he's got my back.
Yeah.
I know that much. Push comes to shove.
I'm here.
He's got my back.
And
I like that.
you run your mouth out there. You need somebody to have your back.
That's right. I do. You're right.
Susan, let's show the people, the shifties, what we got coming up today. A big show on tap. We're going to talk about Jesper Wallstad. He is coming after Devin Dubnyk's shutout streak out in Minnesota. Steve Kouleas joins the show, as we do on Wednesdays. A little concern about Jack Eichel's scoring slump. And finally, winter wardrobes. The Winter Classic jerseys were revealed. We'll get your sartorial takes a little bit later in the show. But EJ, first things first, pal.
Yeah, let's get to first things first, because it's not often that you have two guys who are under the age of 21, I think 19 years of age and 20, get a hat trick on the same evening. But that's what happened last night. Connor Bedard with a hat trick against the Calgary Flames, and then Macklin Celebrini, overtime game winner on the power play against the Mammoth. And both did it at home. So the home fans got to see it. And look at this. You have to go all the way back to 1944. I remember it like it was yesterday.
I was going to say, do you know those names?
Bud Poyle. I think that's David Poyle. I think there's a relation there. And of course, Jack Hamilton, who was just 18. Very, very highly sought after star at that time. I mean, that was the war era too, so that, kind of changed the dynamics of things. Probably some younger guys got opportunities there, but that's how long it's been. 1944 to present day. Just crazy what these two kids have done this year, and just so much fun to watch.
The Connor Bedard one he's made me eat my words, if I'm being honest with you. I think after last year, he looked frustrated. Obviously, the team wasn't playing well, but this year he's got that extra oomph to his game, that little pushback, and it's not from frustration. I think it's out of culture building, which they've done in Chicago, and his release is one of, if not the best in the league, and he's scoring goals at will, but he's competing, and he's brought another element to his game, which maybe we didn't see last year.
And I can confirm, by the way, that Bud Poyle, father of David Poyle, longtime general manager in the NHL, Hockey Hall of Famer, so his dude, Bud Poyle. But yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, I think there's a lot of things that have come together for Bedard. I mean, I think, listen, you play in the league, you hear what people are saying, no matter what it is, right? Good or bad. And I think sometimes the smart players filter out the silliness, but also think about some of the things that are said and is that really true? Could I do this differently? I felt, watching Connor the last couple of years, too many hope plays.
Yeah.
Too many cute plays that you can make in junior, you can't make in the National Hockey League. He's filtered a lot of that out of his game. He trained a little bit differently this summer. He was up in Western Canada with Kent Johnson and with Macklin. They're all pretty good friends. They train together. He changed his stick a little bit. He's got a firmer stick that's helping him in the faceoff circle. You're winning faceoffs. Guess what? Your team and you have the puck a little bit more. I think he's understanding the full ice game now, which that's why Celebrini is so fascinating to me, is because so few players can come into the National Hockey League at that age, no matter who they are. McDavid, go through the list, they all have to learn. Celebrini is one of those, like Crosby.
Yeah.
He didn't almost seem to be sent, just knew what to do. So Bedard has learned that. He's got better teammates, better coaching. I think it's all working out for Connor.
He's also playing in a really tough division, too.
That's
right?
true.
It's not like he's playing in the East. It's still a little bit of a different game, and maybe some of those hope plays work, or you're not penalized for the amount of attempts you have per game. Let's get to Celebrini. You said he's a mini Crosby. You look at him right there, the way he competes on pucks, he does the little things. He's a special player. Do you have both these guys on your Olympic team?
Well, listen, we've talked about it a lot, right? And I've always had Celebrini on the team from the get-go this year, and he has done nothing to be off the team because, we talked about it on the call, and I agree with you. He's versatile. He could play the middle, but I think he could play the wing, and he's really good in the 200-foot game, so I think you could find a place to play him. And, listen, this is a stacked team, Team Canada, most likely, so you're going to need a little flexibility. At the start of the season, I didn't have Connor Bedard on the radar really at all. And then as the year has gone on, though, he is inching his way. To me, I'm almost at yes right now. Now, it's like I told you earlier. I have to go back and look at all the choices now because that's how you do it. You put down the 14 slots. Okay, where would he fit? Because when I look at their team, I don't know, he's not going to be really a top 6 center. So where does he fit? So I have to do that work. But I'll say this, he's much closer now.
I couldn't agree more.
Than he was.
The thing is, he's not going to be on your first line. So do you have him out there killing penalties? Probably not. Do you have him out there for key faceoffs? Probably not. So where does he fit in? But has he earned his way up to a top 6 role? With the way he's shooting the puck, the way he's scoring goals, and the confidence he has right now, it becomes a tougher conversation. Are you going off resume, or you're going off, your last shift or your last game and what you've done for me this year, as opposed to years past? And it's a tough conversation to have because I'm with you. I didn't have him on my roster to start, but it's hard for me to see one without him on it now. Yeah,
I have to do the work. That's what it comes down to, because we could sit here and we could talk about guys, but remember, at the Four Nations, there was no Suzuki, there was no Scheifele.
Yeah.
These are guys that could easily be on that team this time around. So you really have to think about it. And, we talked about it. Braden Point has had a really tough start to the season. It's kind of inexplicable. I've watched some of his games. He's had scoring chances. It just hasn't happened in 19 games. 3 goals, 11 assists. He's on pace for a 14-goal season. This is a guy that scored 50 a couple years back. He had 40 the last couple of years. And he's already named.
Yeah.
So he's got a spot on the team. So I don't know how this is going to play out for Doug Armstrong, but I think you make a great point that we're getting down to that time where they're going to have to make a decision. Not going to be so easy.
No.
Not going to be. Are guys really you played in the league, guys really motivated for because we hear that talk, they want to be, obviously you want to be among the best of the best, but some of these guys this year are really
Some of the young guys have made a push, but then some of the veteran guys too, without having competed in the last little while too. Maybe it's their last opportunity well, right? So these don't come around as often as an all-star game or stuff like that. So guys this is something that's circled on their radar and something that they're really pushing for.
Yeah, so kind of a great story, though. Great for us to watch. Great to talk about. Both Celebrini and Bedard playing great. Now, in Toronto last night, they needed a win. They get into overtime. This was just an unbelievable sequence here. Here is John Tavares, 1-on-2. There's a third guy there, but he makes a great little play with his skate to Riley, and I don't even know what to say about this by William Nylander! That's unbelievable! What a play, but take me through this, because, just the play with the skate by Tavares, the presence of mind to think about it, because he toes the skate and kind of doesn't kick it. He kind of uses the toe of his skate to pass the puck to Riley.
So we'll bring it back before he puts the toe on the puck. This is who he is. And Chiefs post-game press conference talk this is what John Tavares, this is his identity. This is what he's been his whole career. He's a dog on a bone when he's got the puck, and it's hard to take it off him. He's got a certain hunger around the net to score goals. I played with him in junior. I've never played with a more hungry guy around the net to score goals. He was so committed and would take, whether it was a cross check, whatever it may be, anything to score goals. Now go to the skate on the puck. In order just to think about that and have the creativity and you got 2 guys on, you're like, I'm going to put my skate on the puck and kick it backwards towards Riley, and then we see Nylander, the backhand toe drag, forehand backhand, and tuck it in. There's just so much to like here, and they needed this win.
Yeah.
We talked about it yesterday. You looked at their roster down the middle. It was not very flattering.
Guys are out.
And who's going to step up? And JT, year and year again, you know what you're getting out of him. He's consistent. He's going to be a point-a-game player. He's going to compete every single night, and he's going to get it done for you. You look at these numbers here.
Consistent.
You know what you're getting, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't have an off year.
And he's got 500 goals now, too.
It's a credit to the work ethic he puts into it. It was a few years ago, and he got some heat, for leaving the Islanders. Well deserved. He got to a point in his career. He got to decide where he would go. but he continued to put the work in, right? He was never the fastest skater. The game continues to get faster and faster, and he's getting the job done.
Yeah, he's almost it's kind of getting better.
Yeah.
I mean, he had a great year last year. William Nylander, that's just unique skill, right? I mean, and a flair for the moment.
And Chief talks about it. Like, they get into it on the bench, and he's talked about it openly in press conference. Like, I give this guy a hard time, and next thing you know, he's got a bad turnover, and next thing you know, he pulls this backhand toe drag, this marvelous play, something that, 95% of the players in the league couldn't even do.
96,
maybe
98.
more. Yeah, it's so impressive, and that's what makes him Willie Styles, and that's what makes him who he is. He's just got this swagger about him that no matter how the game goes, you put the puck on his stick, he makes magic happen. And is that goal of the year so far? It's certainly up there. It's top 3.
It's high up.
Right?
It's high on my list. That's for sure. That is such a spectacular play by everybody involved, and even Riley, who gets the pass and identifies Nylander and hits him in a great spot to come with momentum and attack the net. So for the Toronto Maple Leafs, needed the win for the Blues. At least they got a point out of it. They continue the road trip. We'll see where things go. Now, we got a tweet we want to bring in from, and this is from Liz, and it's Mikko Rantanen is not expected to face further discipline for a boarding penalty against Alexander Romanov that angered the Islanders last night. Rantanen was pushed off balance by Scott Mayfield. I don't know if he was pushed off balance. Their skates kind of locked. And then he ran into Romanov. He said that he reached out to Romanov to wish him well and tell him he didn't intend anything malicious by the hit. He said he hasn't heard back yet. Well, I mean, maybe Romanov is in no position to call him back. I mean, he got helped off the ice. We don't know. So hopefully he's going to be okay. Here's the play. And, I mean, you'll probably see it from a couple of angles. And Mayfield, in the old days, Mayfield would just ride Rantanen off and protect his defensive partner, but that's not the way it's been in the last 20 years. Patrick Waugh is just, as hot as he could be, yelling at Rantanen, and he played. He had Rantanen in Colorado.
Fan behind the bench was trying to calm him down.
Everybody was.
There wasn't much that was going to calm him down.
Yeah.
You love to see the fire out of your head coach at protecting his players. There's so much to take in about this play.
Yeah. Because you're a defenseman. You've gone in that corner. Take us through it.
I've gone in that corner too many times, and that's one thing you have nightmares about, going back and you're 2 stick lengths away from the boards, and you may catch an edge, you may get hit, and it is impossible to defend yourself. And there's numerous ways you can kind of help yourself out. Unfortunately, he's got the puck going back, and the fastest, the quickest point from point A to point B, is a straight line.
Yeah.
And that's what he's doing. But in order to protect yourself, you should be turning your edges up ice or either behind the net, which A, allows you to make the play a little bit easier, and B, gives you more opportunity to protect yourself, where now it's going maybe shoulder into the boards, worst case, and allows you to be shoulder to shoulder with the forechecker. You hate to see him going off the ice like that, and I couldn't even watch it a second time. It was cringeworthy for me. Whether it's malicious on Rantanen's part, They clip skates. Yes, I don't think it is, but I do think there's an opportunity, or there's another way to go about it where it's not as vulgar as it was.
Yeah, and the league has opted, not to issue a suspension here, and I know the Department of Player Safety, they go through these things with a fine-tooth comb and look at frame by frame, and there was the clipping of the skates there with Mayfield, and he, naturally when you lose your balance, you lean forward. He leans into Romanov, and he goes straight into your point. He's kind of got his toes facing the boards there, and so he just ends up right there. All that being said, for me, that's one of those ones where I would like to see just maybe a one-game suspension, whereas, listen, we understand there was the skate. We understand all of it. But maybe just got to be a little more careful. We want to send that message, because you're a former player, right?
Yeah,
you're paying
absolutely.
attention. Everything's a message, right?
Yeah.
So maybe just be a little more careful there if you can be. And I think if you give a one game there, you send a little message.
Yeah. You kind of put out the fire a little bit, I think, with one game. And maybe it's because it's a star player in the league. You can dive into this as, numerous ways. Again, I think this was avoidable, though. Yeah. And from his aspect, from Romanov as well, and not putting the onus on him. You never want to see a guy get injured, but I think there's ways to kind of avoid, that big type of car crash.
Yeah, and, to be fair to player safety, they've had some big stars that have been suspended.
Yeah.
So, that has happened. Yeah. It's not like it hasn't happened before. Now, the game got even a little bit dicier at the very end, because there's a power play opportunity for the Islanders, so they have the man advantage. The net is empty, and look at this. Wyatt Johnston finds his loose puck in front. 0.1 seconds. David Hradek is hot. And there you see it. The referees, this was initiated by Toronto. They looked at it. They called goaltender interference. So in the end, the Islanders were able to hold on for the 3-2 win. Now, when I looked at this, and we haven't talked about this yet, so I think we'll show a replay of it, and you can tell me, but I felt that Robertson is coming from the wall, kind of parallel to the goal line. When you take a path that takes you through the blue, and he is on a path that's going through the blue, to me, that's when you're susceptible to have that goal waved off, because you have to take a path up to the top of the edge of that crease. He did get bumped, but he put himself on the path.
I mean, if you go back,
All right.
if you see it, when he's coming towards the blue paint,
Yeah.
before he gets hit, there's probably an opportunity where the goalie's not there.
Yeah.
So his skate's allowed to be there. There's no problem. There's an opportunity for him to bring his left skate in, and he would be outside the blue paint.
Yeah.
Until there's contact.
Yeah.
From a defenseman's point of view, you almost have that little leeway to know, like, hey, if I'm out of position and this guy's coming towards the net, if I hit him into the goalie, maybe not with the most aggressive intent, I maybe have the opportunity of getting a goaltender interference call. So there's like a bit of strategy maybe that comes into it a little bit there. If it's up to me, again, that's a tough job. I have that as a good goal.
Okay, yeah.
I don't like the push into the goalie. I think, because again, he's going towards the blue paint. The goalie's not there, so he's not in a position to be in his way until he gets shoved.
Yeah.
There's not much you can do.
They always
that's a big man that's pushing him there. It's not like it's incidental contact. He has the motion of the cross check pushing him into him.
But again, I go back, because like these things are hard. They're always hard.
For sure.
And I think that, if you want to create like some sort of boundary, that blue paint is the boundary. And you said it yourself. He had a second to just make sure that the path was to the top outside of the crease. So I think you leave the door open for the interpretation, in this case from Toronto, with a challenge that you don't have to challenge from the bench. You challenge, they take it on in the last minute.
There's one of the oldest sayings in hockey. If you want to score goals, you got to go to the blue.
You got to go to the net.
You got to go to the blue paint specifically.
Yeah.
And that's where he's going. He gets shoved in. So again, I have that as a good goal.
All right.
It's a tough job. And it's a tough loss. 0.1 seconds. We would have loved to seen overtime there. Another one, which we talked about yesterday. Another game in overtime.
For the Islanders, that's a good point for them to hold on to right there, an extra point. So a crazy night. Let's just hope at the end of the day that Alexander Romanov is okay. Haven't heard anything yet from the Islanders. Let's hope he's okay, and we move forward with that. Now here's a look at the schedule for this evening. And we got 4 games on the slate, doubleheader on TNT. The Oilers and Capitals at 7, followed by the Hurricanes and Wild at 9:30. Other games tonight, the Flames, second of a back-to-back. Calgary, they were playing in Chicago last night, in Buffalo tonight, 7:30. Then the late game, the Boston Bruins starting a road trip in Anaheim against those pesky Ducks. So we'll start with the Oilers on this long 7-game trip, and it's a trip that has been, this is the second back-to-back situation on a 7-game trip, which is, they travel a long way from Edmonton, and, you're in these back-to-backs. It's not easy. Tonight is the first one against a Capitals team that's desperate for wins. They're currently sitting in last, albeit only 7 points out of first place in the Metro. And then the Oilers have to go to Tampa tomorrow night. They might be just licking their chops after a win over the Devils last night. Then they finish up with a Stanley Cup rematch on Saturday night in Florida. But, the Oilers dealing with some injuries as well. Looks like they're going to play 11-7 over the next couple of games because of the injury issues they have. They have Hyman back, but it's up and down.
They've done that many times before, even when they were healthy. Draisaitl, McDavid are going to log 20-plus minutes for you. Saw even Hyman's first game back played 20-plus minutes, had the 11 hits. So you have horses up front where you can feed them the extra minutes. I'm not too worried about that. The back end has been, year in and year out, probably their issue, that and goaltending. I think going into the start of this road trip, they would have liked to have been, 3-1 to start. Maybe you look at, there's a lot of teams that you would argue that on paper they probably should have been winning.
Well, they go into Buffalo and get blown out.
Yeah.
Right? And that's not, it sets up a bad rest of your trip when you have a back-to-back and then you got Florida.
It's unacceptable with this team, the start of their season where they were the last couple of years. Like, those aren't games that you should be losing or should be even getting blown out.
Yeah.
So they've been struggling, and there's numerous things you can kind of point it to. I think, again, it's the same storyline with them. Getting Hyman back certainly helps, but there's they got to clean up the defensive play and ideally get some big stops when it matters.
Yeah, well, you know, the coach, Chris Knobloch, talked about the defensive play. How hard is it for forwards? Because you're a defender, you're supposed to play defense, but how hard is it to have that structure on a day-to-day basis where the forward, I mean, everybody wants to be moving the other way, but you have to have that gap control and you have to have the help from the forwards.
Agreed. It's a 5-man unit, especially with how players can kind of dipsy-doodle through the neutral zone.
Yeah.
And we talked about before on the forecheck, you can't hold guys up. I think the biggest key is protecting your blue line and then how quickly can you break the puck out, right? That's why you're seeing so many offensive defensemen getting more opportunity now is because if we can break the puck out and give it to, for Edmonton, get the puck in 97 or 29's hands, you're in a better position to succeed and win games.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a tough one tonight in D.C. The Capitals coming off a nice tight win over the LA Kings the other night, trying to get another one in the bank for them, Edmonton and Washington. You can see it on TNT. When we come back, Kasper Wallstedt has been playing really well in goal for the Minnesota Wild. He is giving up nothing. See how he does tonight against the Canes. We'll talk about the Wild and the Canes next on First Shift. Well, we take a look at the longest shutout sequences in season by minutes in Minnesota Wild history, and you can see our good friend and colleague Devin Dubnyk kind of dominates this the record book there. But Philip Gustafson has had a pretty lengthy one as well. But on the bottom, you see Kasper Wallstedt with an active streak right now of 141 minutes and 9 seconds. And if he were to get another 56 minutes and 1 second, he would own the record for the longest shutout streak in season in Minnesota Wild history. He's had back-to-back shutouts. And this is someone who was a 20th overall pick in 2021. They expected him to be a goaltender in their system and to be a player for them. He's living up to it.
At 22 years old, goalies, they hit their prime a lot later on. So for him to be doing this at this young of age is impressive. And you want both. We talked about with Billy Guerin yesterday. You want both their goalies to be hot. Right? You don't want to have to ride one throughout the whole season, ideally having them both playing well. But do you ride the hot hand with the young goalie and continue him to carry the bulk of the mail? You have to go back with Gus. You just kind of paid him that starter money. Yeah. Maybe good problems to have, 1A, 1B, but it's a tough job to have if you're the coaching staff, making sure one guy doesn't cool off, but also making sure the guy who is hot to stay hot, right?
No question about it. And here are some numbers from NHL Edge, powered by SAP. And you're going to take a look at these, and you're going to see the overall save percentage in the 96th percentile, one of the very best. The high danger, 848, 82nd percentile, very, very good. And then the old mid-ranger, 86th percentile. So he has been excellent this year, and I remember seeing him for Team Sweden in the World Junior competition, and he was an excellent prospect at the time. And, now he just had a birthday, by the way. He's 23 now, so happy birthday. But playing well, and that's what you want if you're the Wild.
And we've talked about it before, and I'll keep hammering on this. It's a product of the team in front of you, too. Sure, he's playing fantastic, but the Minnesota Wild are playing much better hockey.
Yes, they are.
In November as opposed to October. I mean, you look at the stats here, you get some guys back, you get Zuccarello back. Not only does he, provide on the ice, but off the ice with the leadership as well. And Billy Guerin, you touched on it yesterday. They are learning how to compete on both ends of the ice, and they're playing a full game. Yeah. Right? There's no gaps in their game. They're understanding, not to say it's playoff hockey right now, but they're not playing, that preseason style October hockey. They're getting into the gritty part of the game. Yeah, and they only have one regulation loss in November. It was the Carolina at Minnesota tonight. That should be a really entertaining game. Now, we got some news today, and it's just been injuries. It's just been really tough around the league, and you hear from Fluto is going to chime in here with Charlie McAvoy, who's undergone surgery. No timeline on his return. So he got hit in the face with a puck the other day. All the best to Charlie. I mean, we feel so bad about what's gone on there. The Bruins are starting a road trip. And listen, your number one defenseman, it's a big loss. He's had some terrible injury history. And that one there, he's just in front of the net doing a great job boxing out. It hits off the forward skate and clips him in the jaw. And you look at some notable injuries here for the team. They've been playing good hockey, but when you lose your number one, that's a real test for some other guys to step in. Mason Lowry will get an opportunity now to get more minutes, and he's struggled a little bit, has played well once he's got back in the lineup. Again, you can't speak more highly enough about Charlie McAvoy and what the job he's done, and he's playing fantastic this year. You could argue some of probably the best hockey of his career. So I just hope it's a speedy recovery.
Yeah, and having surgery. We hope the best for Charlie. I mean, part of Team USA, too, with the Olympics. I mean, we're starting to have to factor that in. We saw Jack Hughes out for 6 to 8 weeks. These are concerns for sure. And Charlie, take care of yourself. Get back in the lineup soon, because they need him in Boston. And it's just, it's been a crazy year with injuries. And speaking of another injury and a crazy story, this one from Jameson Olive. Ito Lesterainen, week to week, after suffering burns during a barbecue accident, per Coach Paul Maurice. Now, this is nothing to joke about or laugh about. It's just odd because, I mean, the Panthers this year, I mean, if they haven't had bad luck, they've had no luck with injuries this year. And you could see the list there. Barkov in training camp, out for the season. Hope to get him back maybe in the playoffs. Tkachuk, Matthew skating, getting closer. We're not sure exactly when. Kulikov, another really important player, out for a long stretch. And now this really odd injury here to Lesterainen. And we can only hope that he is going to be okay and get back soon, because nothing to joke about. You get burned. Yeah. It's bad.
The fluke incident.
It's like Jack Hughes, right? The same thing.
And you're seeing more of them, which is odd, and you hope he's okay. But to the Florida Panthers, with all these injuries, I mean, you go back to back. They're long seasons. Not to say the barbecue one, I'd say, is that obviously a separate one, doesn't have to do with hockey, but you go back to back and you're playing 10 months throughout the season, not a ton of time to recover. These are a lot of minutes that these guys are playing. They're staying afloat. They just got to stay within it until they get healthy, and then you feel pretty confident with their club that they're going to go on a run. Yeah. And you get them come playoff time. You got a lot of gamers on that team, and a lot of guys that get the job done come playoff time.
Yeah, Lesterainen he's an important player for them. So I hope he's okay and gets back in the lineup at some point soon. When we come back, Steve Kouleas is going to join us, and he's happy because scoring is up. He takes a dive into the offensive numbers. Steve Kouleas next on First Shift. Here is a look at the schedule for tonight. 4 games from NHL PR. 4-game Wednesday includes NHL on TNT doubleheader, featuring Ovechkin and McDavid going head-to-head for the 15th time in their NHL career. And with that, we go into Cooley's Cave to welcome in Steve Kouleas from NHL Network Radio for his weekly Wednesday spot with us. Cooley, let's get right down to business. You, as always, you're working overtime, you're digging in, you're looking at numbers. You have found some interesting numbers you want to share with us and the audience.
Yes, good to see Michael Del Zotto. Of course, watched his outstanding NHL and junior career. My daughter knew at 8, like I said before, he was going to be an NHLer. So unfortunately, she's not working in hockey now. She's working in government. But anyway, numbers. Yes, let's take a look at the numbers as it relates to scoring. We're almost at the 25% mark at this NHL campaign, and scoring is up. Now, is it sustainable as it compares to last year? Well, on the left is last year. We finished at 6. 6 is a good number. 6 is good. Save percentage, 900. And players with 50 goals and 100 points is in front of you. This year, we're up to 6.1. Save percentages are we haven't finished a year in the 890s since Mario was in the league in 1996. And look at the projections. Will those numbers come true? Probably not. But it's sexy. And guys, it's 92, 93 like if this stays the course. Who doesn't love 50 goal scorers and 100-point getters? Michael, EJ, I hope it happens.
Who are your potential picks that are going to score 50 this year?
Yeah.
Everyone now that is in the category of 14, 13, 12, they're all on pace. You need 0.61 times 82 to score 50 goals. So will all these guys do it? Probably not. Last year at this time, we were in and around the same numbers, and only Leon Draisaitl got there. Realistically, it'll probably be 2 or 3. And you guys know every 50 goal and 50 goal in game season is always from the start of the year. Guys always are hotter at the beginning when they're fresher, and then the numbers come down. Will these guys do it? I hope so. I had Kyle Connor and Nate McKinnon and Draisaitl at the start of the year. The numbers are good now, and these two new guys, the two kids, are putting up some good numbers as well.
Yeah, could they get, do you think they can, Celebrini and Bedard 50? I mean, they're playing great.
They're playing phenomenal. I love to see it, and I think we're getting more to the discussion of them making the Olympic team. You have to think at some point in their young career, they're going to have a little bit of a lull here throughout the season. Like, we hope they stay hot. But, I mean, you look at them there, Nathan McKinnon always produces. Connor always does as well. He goes through those little ups and downs where he'll just have 4 assists as opposed to scoring. He kind of turns it on when he wants. But, you know, Bedard and Celebrini, again, those hat tricks, their release, you know, Bedard specifically, the way he's able to get the puck off his stick is so impressive. You could argue he's probably got the best release in the league, him and Austin Matthews. I'd like to see him get 50.
Yeah. Cooley, any of those, in your mind, right now as we sit here in mid-November, not even American Thanksgiving yet, in your mind, can either of those kids get 50?
No, probably not. Probably not this year. Probably not. I mean, and how if you're finishing in the top 5, you know, heading into the Olympic voting that you wouldn't be on the team? Remember Sid had 102 points the year he was left off in 05-06, and then Team Canada had trouble scoring. The Celebrini discussion with Bedard is, I think it's changed a lot of things. A lot of people had Celebrini at the start of the year, and then the way he was playing, and now the Bedard situation changes everything. Even on that list right there, the only 50-goal guy is probably going to be Nate McKinnon. We're probably only going to have 2 or 3. But I'd rather start high and then come down than panic about offense. You imagine if the numbers were 5.5, I couldn't sleep at night.
I know,
I couldn't
poor
keep
guy.
this going.
You'd have to be medicated. I don't know what we would do with you. But anyway, we are off to a good start numbers-wise. One guy that, you know, has never scored 50, got off to a hot start this year, but has kind of slowed down is Jack Eichel. Any concern on your end for Eichel?
It's not. It just ties in. I'm trying to dovetail this for you. You know, you built me up on my research department, which is me.
Which is
I'm
you.
the research department.
Yeah, I have my own research staff here. Me.
Yeah.
Although I have a lot more help than you. I have a lot of good guys actually that do a lot of great work. So.
Yeah, and they've helped me too. Don't kid yourself.
Right.
We've look at these boards. Look at these boards. So Eichel's in a bit of a slump. Now he's got 30 shots on goal since he last scored. So that's good. He had chances last night, and he had 5 shots on goal. Obviously, when he doesn't produce at the numbers he was before, then the team is middling at 3-3-3. But at one point, it's, Eichel's going to get his first 50-goal season and first 100-point season. So even his numbers have come down to be a 35-goal guy. There's nothing wrong with that. And you need to play 82. If you do play 82, which helps you get to 100 points, 1.22 is the magic number. So that's where I came up with the numbers of right now, how many players are on pace for 100 points. Eichel's still one of them, but if you're not way above that barometer, that line right now heading into U.S. Thanksgiving, the numbers again, strength of schedule, 3 games in 4, Olympic schedule, going to the Olympics, that number is going to also come down. So it's almost as if we're watching superstar players and where they are, and Eichel's come down while the other guys you just showed on the board before have actually gone up and maintained higher numbers than Jack. So what does it mean when Stone and Carlson come back? More time with Marner. It's kind of been 50-50 with Marner, without Marner. I don't know how that's going to play itself out. But there's another example of as good as you are and as hot as you started, right, Michael? The numbers kind of, they almost come down to what you've done most of your career. You come back down to your average.
Yeah, I mean, it's a product of the team struggling. You talk about some of the injuries, so getting guys that are slotting in the right spot in their lineup and him getting more ice time with Marner. You saw at the start of the year, that was probably the hottest line in hockey, right? So
up there.
Maybe listen, everyone deals with injuries, maybe getting those guys back, it allows a little bit more maybe quality time and getting that chemistry back with Mitch, because we know he's a passer. But he's got 30 shots. Like he's still shooting the puck. I'd be more worried if he was only getting 1 or 2 shots a game. He's still averaging 3 shots a game, so he's getting the looks. And a guy with his talent and his release, it's going to come around.
Yeah.
And when it does, it's going to come in bunches. You're going to see 2 and 3 goal games here at some point in the near future, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I mean, with the star players, normally that's the way it plays out. Now, I want to take it to goaltending. You were all about the scoring. You want to torture these poor goalies. Jordan Binnington, I mean, it has been a tough start to the year. It's been a tough start for the St. Louis Blues. Let's face it. It's been a tough start for the Blues. It hasn't been a great start for him or Joel Hofer, the other goaltender there. What do you make of Binnington? Because there's the discussion, Team Canada coming into the year. It was expected that he would be the guy. He won the Four Nations Cup. Where are you with Binnington right now? And, do you think he's going to get turned around?
Well, I'd like to think he will. I mean, the numbers in the last 2 years have been very, very good. And he was arguably the best goalie coming out of the Four Nations with what he did at the Four Nations, minus one bad goal, I think, against Jake Gensel. I think that was about it for Binnington, how well he played in the tournament. .913 is outstanding. Even .900, that was the average last year, and that was based on a horrific start or two-thirds for him, and then he pumped up his numbers in the final third coming. I think they were like 25, 26 and change, and they finished with 96 points, for gosh sakes. I think what scares me more, of all the starting goalies, so some teams kind of have two. So of the 40 goalies that have basically been starters this year, whether they've been hurt like Markstrom a little bit or Stolarz, look at this list. First of all, the list by itself with Markstrom and Stolarz and Montembeault, Allmark, and then Binnington. 75 goalies have played this year. He's ranked 75th. Of the starters of the 40, he's ranked 40th. That scares me for a lot of reasons. He's already going to be on Team Canada, even if he stays there. I'm assuming that he's done so much that he would go in at worst as the number 2, with Thompson right now as the 1. But these are good goalies, right? And they have to turn it around. The league average is .897, and they're way below that. One would assume as the goalies get better, and then the goal scoring comes down with a whole bunch of factors in play. But to have a list with those names on it and Binnington at the bottom, Michael and EJ, that's eye-popping to me. That's eye-popping for JB50.
Goaltending stats are a tricky one, right? Because it depends on what the team's doing in front of you. They've given up 78 goals.
And you played with Jordan.
Yeah, I did. He's a gamer. He's a gamer. And his resume speaks for itself, but they've given up 78 goals, which is the most in the league. How much of that is him or the team in front of them? The other day we talked about Wedgwood over in Colorado.
Yep, and playing well.
How great he is. He's never really been in that position before, but the team is incredible in front of him. So it's a product of the team in front of him. They're obviously having a horrific start to the season. I don't think many people predicted this, but so we talk about Team Canada. How much of his resume goes into it as opposed to the production that he's rolling with this?
And there's nobody really... There's nobody playing him off there either, because the other guys, only Logan Thompson and Wedgwood, who has been a kind of a journeyman, those are the guys who are really playing the best.
But you get him come Olympic time, is his confidence a little bit shot based off his results and his numbers and what the team's doing, right? It's a tough position to be in if you're the GM or the coach trying to decide who your starter is.
And the GM is Doug Armstrong for Team Canada, so he's familiar. Cooley, are you worried?
Yeah, I'm worried. I'm worried. I'm worried about Allmark. I'm worried about Markstrom. Like they're all not going to stay there, but they're all not going to get into the Vezina conversation. Yeah. And the thing about Binnington is he has a history of going to the well or turning on the hot water, and after running cold, here it's like at the rink, at Legends. It takes a little while for the hot water to come after a beer league game, but eventually it does. And for the Blues, they've been here before. But I think he's on the team if you're talking about Team Canada. What the Blues do this year is anyone's guess. You are a product of your environment, that's for sure. You can talk about Brodeur and Waugh and Luongo and goalies like that, Ken Dryden, Bunny Larocque. But the underlying numbers are supposed to even the playing field and look at what you're supposed to do on the team that you're on and the shots that you face. And those underlying numbers aren't flattering for Jordan or any of these goalies. And that's not the telltale sign, and that's not it. Eye test, regular numbers, and then these numbers, it's not good for any of these goalies or for Jordan Binnington. If the Olympics were right now, one would think on the Canadian side that Logan Thompson would start, at least at the beginning, and you see what ends up happening, and then there's a back-to-back and weaker competition, and then Hellebuck on the U.S. side, and then we go from there, ladies and gentlemen. But we're not there yet.
Not there yet. I am not there yet. I wonder if they would trade Binnington if things go. Who knows? Well, listen, we're running out of time.
Juicy storyline.
Let's get to your prediction for the night.
Braden Point didn't score last week. You jinxed him. If you believe in that, EJ,
I believe you were the one who picked him.
Yeah, but you didn't support me. You didn't support me.
Well, he's got 3 goals and 3 goals in 19 games. I'm worried about him.
you were mocking me when I took guys that were hot. So I took a guy to try to get him out of his slump.
Don't listen to
you
me.
mocked me.
That's not going to help you.
I'm 6-2, okay?
Oh, you're hot. You're hot.
I'm 6-2. I'm taking Zach Hyman. He's just back. Hyman scores.
All right. There you go.
There you go.
All right. Mark it down. Zach Hyman for a goal tonight. The Oilers taking on the Washington Capitals. Cooley, thanks a lot, buddy. We'll talk to you soon.
Great to see you guys. See ya.
All right. Steve Kouleas, NHL Network Radio in Cooley's Cave, where he resides. Coming up next, got some stretch passes. Little game for Michael Del Zotto. Who's going to keep some streaks alive? That's next. It is time for some stretch passes, and we welcome back our erstwhile producer. I know he likes when I say that, J.D. Lindbergh. All right, take it away.
All righty, as we usually are when we get down here to the D block, we're short on time, so let's get to it. Mike, Connor McDavid riding a 10-game point streak against the Capitals. Will that stretch or pass?
That will stretch. That will stretch. I'm high on Connor McDavid. I think he's going to start to turn it on a little bit more. The team needs him right now, and typically when the team needs him, he delivers.
Yeah, I don't ever go against Connor McDavid in any circumstances, and I will not deviate from that now. So stretch, JD, stretch.
All righty, both of you in agreement. Love it when you guys agree out there. Moving along to our next one, though, the Sabres. They haven't had a 3-game winning streak all season. They've won 2 in a row. EJ, they make it 3 tonight.
Now, the Sabres I usually go against because they've shown it's been a history, right? It has not gone well. But you know what? I am going to deviate from that tonight. I'm going to say yes because I like the matchup. Calgary, second of a back-to-back. Tough night there in Chicago. Not a 5-minute flight to get to Buffalo. I'll say yes.
Second night of a back-to-back. Not a great season for them either. I'm going with Buffalo as well, and I'm with you. It's typically easy money when you bet against them, but I'm taking them here. I got them winning their first 3 straight games.
All right, there we go.
I feel like it's a trap game. Flames are coming in hot.
It could be. You're right. You could very well be right.
All righty, fellas, I got one more for you here. Minnesota Wild. This is a crazy one. They've scored the opening goal in 9 straight games. DZ, will they make it 10 in a row tonight, scoring the first goal?
They're at home playing against Carolina. Carolina always comes out hot. Like that's their MO. They come out as just volume shots on goal, just to try to get the team on their heels. Yeah. But I have Minnesota here. I like what they're doing. I love the way they've been playing in November. I have them scoring the first goal tonight.
All right. I'm just going to go against it just because why not? Just to mix it up. And by the way, should there be a trap game ever for the Buffalo Sabres? Never. Better come out and play hard tonight. All right, JD. Is that it?
That's it. Get us to break.
All right. That's it for us on this segment. So, hey, we come back. Rangers are in the Winter Classic. They unveiled the jerseys today. Michael Del Zotto played with the Rangers at the Winter Classic a couple years ago now. We'll look at those jerseys next on First Shift. Here is a tweet from NHL Media. 2026 Winter Classic jerseys have been unveiled and are stitched with history. You can read more about it right at NHL.com. And here's a look at the Panthers jersey. They have the kind of that leaping panther on the front. Colors are similar, but when you see a bigger shot of it, Michael, you see the striping and you see those tan shell pants. Very nice.
I love the look of it, the stripes, the tan shell. We're talking off air. I wonder if like the tan helmet would be kind of with that track. Would that work well? I think the whole point of it is to grow the game. Having in Miami, where I live, so I'll be at the game for sure. But I like those jerseys. I like the almost 3D look of the Panther coming after you there. Cool.
Looks like a little
well done. Well, whoever designed that, well done.
Looks like almost like Sam Bennett coming at you in the corner. It could be.
Yeah, the headshot of him. Yeah. little less hair though. Little less hair. And
all right, here's the Rangers. JT Miller, always happy. What do you make? I like these.
I love them. I think that blue is just, it's sexy. It's just like a different type of blue. It stands out, it pops out. JT Miller not overly happy with them by the look of his face on there.
He's the captain, he's got to be focused.
Yeah, I guess he's got the game face
and
on.
JT he's dialed.
Yeah, I like the jersey. I like the little apple there with the initials on
NYR, very nice.
I'm a big fan of them. I think whoever created these did a fantastic job. They fit Miami, right? They fit that vibe of Miami, South Beach vibe.
Bright colors.
Exactly. They pop.
I like it. And the Rangers have been, as you know, they've been good outdoors. They're 5-0 in outdoor games. You played in their first venture to the outdoors, and that was back at the Winter Classic in 2012. A win over the Flyers. Remember, it came down to I think a penalty shot at the end of the game.
Danny Briere tried to go 5-hole on Hank, and I remember that game like it was yesterday. It was one of my fondest memories of the NHL, and fondest memories of growing up playing hockey is playing outdoors. And this was a special game. Was so excited for it. We all had our families in for the day before, had the family skate, and then that game too. Mike Rupp, fellow old teammate, fellow colleague now, had 2 goals, did the Yager salute. Pretty legendary moment. Like it's something that people still talk about.
You got the eye black.
I know. I had to play the part. It was special. The weather was fantastic. A little bit of snow that made it cool, but not enough to affect the ice conditions.
I think they pushed the start time back a little bit that day because of the sun, right?
Correct. Yeah, we've seen a few mishaps in some of the other games.
It happens. Yeah.
Exactly. It's hard. You can't predict the weather, right?
Yeah.
So that was a fantastic one. And again, probably top 5 moment of my career, I would say. Like it was a very, very special game.
And 24/7, they had the show, and then we had Torts on one side, you had Lavia on the other. I just thought it's one of my favorite games, and it came down to the last moment. So many memorable things in that game.
I think the build-up of 24/7 and getting the inside look of, Lavi's a great personality. Torts, as we all know, is fantastic. And getting to see the personal side of him as well, and obviously the tough side too, that, would get the team and kind of call them out if the team wasn't playing well. And there's a lot of moments I remember being in that locker room, being a little intimidated of Torts kind of stepping up, but we had a hard-nosed group, and it was fantastic being on the winning end of that game.
Yeah, you found a way to win. I remember the family day, got to meet Ryan Callahan's dad, Mike Callahan, who they were featured in 24/7, so it was great to meet him. He's always watching, so give a little shout-out to him as well, and Ryan, who's, doing what he's doing up in upstate New York, having a good time. So, hey, that was a fun one.
They're all fun. All those ones are fun. Looking forward to tuning in for that one live.
Yeah, that's a great stadium down there.
Yeah.
That stadium down in Florida. All right, we're out of time. Michael, thanks so much.